Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Beyond Sports Podcast.
Yeah. Dynasty boys. We did it. We're here.
Won it for us, boys.
Feels good.
We're here.
The real GOAT.
Yeah, Taylor Swift, the back of Taylor Swift's head. I got it.
It's the one that won it.
It is.
I thought you were holding up a Game of Thrones thing.
No, that's Taylor Swift's head.
Yeah. They fucking did it, boys.
We did it, boys.
Fucking
We're here again. Back to backs. Did you ever think it was possible? I sure didn't.
Not
But
throughout
it's,
this season. Not throughout this season did I think this is a Super Bowl championship team. This is a part of a dynasty.
Not once. No. And I definitely had my doubts all the way through and up into, into the fourth quarter of that game.
You can ask Sneaky. I told everybody, I'm about to go full Sam right now. I told him. I announced it to the room, and then
Dude.
was very close.
After Mahomes threw that interception in the third quarter, Tim,
I had to say it for Sam.
Like, it's game. Just because up to that point,
That
it seemed bad. Our offense had not been getting anything going. Not a damn thing. The best thing we had was that 2-minute drive, at the end of it. We had that lucky McCole Hardman catch. I don't know, lucky.
Fucking play.
It was a great play.
That's a dime.
That one,
But
it was kind of
fumbled.
double covered. The one safety might have lost that ball though in the end. But it's still great. It was great.
Catch.
But that was one bomb was like the best thing we had done all game.
Yeah.
Easily.
That drive right before half, yeah. It's terrible.
And then, when we're throwing interceptions, even though we've been here before against this team and with worse odds, right? We've seen Mahomes throw back-to-back interceptions down 10 points.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't help too that all 4 Kyle Shanahan appearances in the Super Bowl, he's led by at least 10 points and lost. So
yeah, poor
Even
guy.
at 4, I thought it was already damn.
But man, it didn't.
This was
it
4.
didn't matter though. We saw Mahomes and hit both of his Super Bowls against the Niners.
He was down by-
Him and not him. That our offense just was not that good through 3 quarters of it.
They're playing against a hell of a defense.
Hey, I give it to him.
Unless you
Hell of
ask
a
Alex
defense.
Smith.
But when we had to it was weird. When we had to turn it on and when we had to do it, he did.
It's I think
Every play that needed to be made, he used his legs in just incredible ways. Here we are with the dynasty with back-to-backs.
Yeah.
Fucking new with this team that was dropping passes
incredible. Just incredible. I mean,
all year long. Remember where we were on Christmas.
yeah, dude. Christmas was the lowest point.
Christmas. We're not.
I buried this team on Christmas.
We are not talking
I
about.
sat through that
I
game on
buried this team
Christmas.
before Christmas, actually.
This was the lowest point in Mahomes' term as starter for me, I think.
So, it really was.
And this game here, I think you alluded to, I think a lot of the reason we played better later in the game is Isaiah Pacheco did not get particularly big runs, but they did.
No.
They served the purpose of wearing out that D line. And by in the second half, that D line was getting a lot less pressure, I felt.
Yeah.
Which was weird to me because they ran the ball 31 times to our 30 times. Obviously, Mahomes had, I think, 6.
Shanahan did it to himself again, where he just picks the oddest times to stop running.
He stopped running in the third quarter. He only had 2 rushing attempts in the third quarter, and he had 11 dropbacks.
Our defense at one point in that third quarter, we held him. We held him to 3 straight 3-and-outs.
Yeah.
And on those 9 plays that they ran during those 3 straight 3-and-outs, only 1 was a run.
Yeah, because they only.
What are you doing?
Run
You
the
have the lead.
in the third quarter. 2. Christian McCaffrey had the ball 2 carries, and he was killing us. Let's not.
I think
he was not.
We did start locking down the run in the second half. We did.
We did.
There were times when they tried to run and we locked it down.
And that's what I'll say. Our defense was the
Um,
flip of theirs where I felt like ours got stronger the more they ran, and theirs got weaker the more we
weaker, yes.
You know, and I thought
It-
that was a weird thing that I actually had
I
written down.
mean, it kind of happened like the last Super Bowl too. Like as the game went on, our defense got better, theirs got worse.
Yeah.
Same with the offense.
I think the thing about it is like we held Christian McCaffrey to 3.9 a carry, and I say held to 3.9 a carry because he's usually averaging closer to five or six, I think.
Yeah, it felt like more than what.
And I like it. I don't think it wasn't that the Niners weren't having success with the run. It's just they weren't having the kind of success that they usually have with the run.
Yeah,
So they were kind of viewing it as a negative, I think.
Yeah.
But
But
I think
I also thought not giving it to McCaffrey on the 3rd and 4 with 2 minutes to go was a massive mistake.
Because if you pick that up, game over, right?
Yeah.
That's such a
Yeah.
huge.
It's over.
I was
There's a
about to
few-
cry.
moments in that game that were huge opportunities that the Niners had that they spoiled that they couldn't capitalize on. First not capitalizing through what
Multiple chances to put the dagger in.
they did. When they didn't score after getting that interception from Mahomes in the 3rd down in their own or in our territory, right? Like they got, I know it's like 45, but you had great field position. You're already in the other team's territory, like, and you go 3 and out there and punt it back.
Yeah.
Two chances
Um,
at the end of the game to score a touchdown.
Yes.
At the end of regulation
that
overtime.
that 3rd and 4, yeah, if you pick up a first down there, you can run the clock down, basically kick a field goal and give us nothing almost. Man, Spags drawing up an amazing blitz there, as he always does on 3rd and 4.
Yeah.
McDuffie running in free. It was a great thing, man.
And then they had no idea it was coming.
No, it did not
Because
look.
McDuffie's so good at disguising when he's coming.
Which also leads me to believe they did not film study as hard as they should have.
well, they
I'm
didn't
sure they-
even get ready for overtime
they
rules,
did.
so it wouldn't
Yeah,
surprise me.
that we'll
Well,
get to
in their
that too.
defense, it's hard to get ready for something if your coach doesn't even know the rules. Which it seemed like
That's some wild
He
shit.
says he did. And that him and his analytics team went over them, but he did not
Oh.
spread it to the rest of the team.
because whenever he said them, I assume that he meant his fucking players. Like drill it in their head. This is the rule.
Nah, man. Oh well. Jeez. Nah, man. But we'll get to we'll do a whole thing on that rule. First, let's we got to celebrate because it's a dynasty now.
It is a
Like
dynasty.
you can't say it's not, right? Like before when we were like, man, 4 Super Bowls was pretty great, but if
The home of the Chrome.
The thing is now, and I don't even
and
care if
back to backs.
Patriots or Steelers fans or whatever, because their shit's old. You talk down to these other fans now. You understand? Like, you look down your nose at these assholes. They start saying some shit you don't like, you're just like, you don't matter.
That's
I mean, you want to be those? You want to do what the Patriots were doing? Is that?
we're the fun dynasty. That's one thing that is a distinction
mean-
that I think you need to take into account. Is like we are an offensive. We do fun stuff.
I'm not saying go after people, but
The haters, if anybody's hating now, like there's nothing.
there's gonna be twice as many.
Mahomes still has a little way to go, right?
No,
But he's ahead of pace. Look, right now he is ahead of Brady, where Brady was at this point in his career, right?
Okay.
Like the
Yeah, because
numbers.
I actually mathed out the pace that he's on right now.
Yeah. No. It's far ahead of, or
Yeah.
not far ahead. It's like
Oh,
a year or
it's-
two ahead of Brady.
Well, here's what I put down. Tom Brady in his career threw for 89,214 passing yards in the regular season, 649 touchdowns, won 251 games, and completed 7,752 passes, all of which are NFL records. Sorry, I took the screenshots of these. So
Do you want here? I got their first the stats
gonna
for their
say-
first 6 years as a starter.
Mahomes is on pace to throw for 839 touchdowns. I'm rounding down for this to be nice to Tom. So 839 touchdowns is the pace he's on if he were to play for 23 seasons, throwing at 36 and a half average touchdowns per season. he would throw
The
for
high average.
yeah, it's a high average. That's what it averaged out to if you take all of his yards. He would throw for 108,958 yards. Damn, I didn't take the wins into account.
Hey, let's just let
And he would-
that's
the
those
The
are all
Brady number is silly on its own.
And he would throw
The-
complete 9,146 passes.
those are all, hypothetical numbers.
Yeah, that's if Patrick Mahomes needs to
Let's-
play for 23 seasons.
Let's look at where they were for their first 6 years as a starter, right?
Yeah.
Regular season wins. Mahomes has 73 to Tom Brady's 70. Playoff wins. Mahomes has 15 to Tom Brady's 12. Super Bowl appearances, we've got 4. Tom only had the 3. We have the same number of rings now, right?
Yep.
3 Super Bowl wins each for him. Super Bowl MVPs, Mahomes 3 to Brady's 2. And of course, league MVPs, Mahomes 2 to Brady's 0 at this point. Conference championship game appearances, 6 to Mahomes, 4 to Brady. And that's where I got it. Okay, yeah. If you're just looking at team stats, and then he's got him on all the passing yard, like all the stats.
Oh, and then you can also
Mahomes.
say the amount of times that they've missed the playoffs because I think Brady missed it. The playoffs.
He missed it in that dynasty. During that dynasty, the
year
year they
after they
didn't
won their
win,
first Super Bowl, he
they
missed
won
the playoffs.
3 and 4. That 1 year they didn't make the playoffs.
So he missed the playoffs completely. You could also put down the number of times they had a top 5 defense during their first dynasty, and I want to
This
say
may be
at least 4. And he
I
would,
don't even think it's arguable who's had the better start.
Oh.
Like, it's not even arguable.
like it's stupid to me. Like this dude's killing it.
And you can throw all the stats out the window because I'll say what I've said before. I know what my eyes see.
right.
I
You
know
know
what
what your eyes
watch-
tell.
No.
And I mean,
And it never looked
before-
like that with Brady.
but he's got to keep doing it. He has to show the longevity in there as well, right? You got to see him keep doing it into his 30s. If this is all he has, if he just wins these 3 and he has a dynasty, it'll be great. But if that's it, he doesn't do anything afterwards,
Hey, if he gets 6 or 7 in a normal 12 to 15-year career, though, like
Not even close.
Oh, then it's not close. I don't even think he has to get to. I think get to like 5 at least. If you can get to 5, then it's.
and he plays
my,
for
my whole thing with Brady stats is
he's
they're all based on his longevity.
yeah, he played longer than
If
any
he played a normal career, he would not own any records
no,
at all.
I agree. His
Like,
I mean, the longevity is part of what makes him
When
great. though.
Peyton Manning retired, he had him smoked, and there was only a 1-year difference in
Yeah.
their careers.
Drew Brees
But I mean,
had him in
part of the
yards
things
until
like
Brady played outlasted him.
Brady was still winning like Super Bowls and MVPs in his 40s. Like
True.
it,
True. Tom Brady.
that's part of his greatness.
I agree. I do agree with that.
And being able to just win, like the same thing we just saw with Mahomes, like you winning when it like making those plays when you absolutely need them.
I had no idea until today that I thought we drafted Harrison Butker, and that's not true.
No,
signed
he
him
got
up
cut from the
practice
Signed him off the
Panthers.
Panthers practice squad.
Panthers,
Yeah.
yeah. Insane. Thanks,
Yeah.
Panthers.
The Eagles signed
Guys are terrible.
Jake Elliott, I want to say, off the Bengals practice squad.
What do you know?
So
Find that talent everywhere. Let's get back into it. What are we talking about?
talking about Patrick
so
Mahomes' legacy. Well,
Patrick okay. It's crazy to say, like, how many times we've had to say, is this the best accomplishment of his career? When you look at like from his first year as a starter, the dude comes out immediately, throws 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. How do you do? It wins league MVP. How do you do better than that? Well, the next year he comes out and wins Super Bowl MVP. You're like, okay, what are you gonna do to top those things? Last year he wins league MVP and Super Bowl MVP, right? Like, phenomenal year.
And
And then
Most
this
yards,
year,
most yards, most touchdowns.
all the quarterback
All
stats,
stats.
right? Like,
perfect
gets a
season.
legit awesome MVP that is well deserved, where he throws, like 41 touchdowns. Not where, 29 total touchdowns this year. That's what won league MVP for a quarterback.
Oh,
Okay. All right. Okay. And then this year,
Hey, by the way, you're a saint, Aaron Schatz. You're a saint.
for not making it unanimous.
Yeah.
Bullshit. That's even inconsistent.
After Christian McCaffrey has the year he has, anyways. Then this year, Mahomes, has the worst offense he's ever had, right? Receiving core is the most drops in the league, right? By far. Like the most drops in the league in like a decade, I think. Like just disgustingly bad. On Christmas Day, all the way up to week 15. We're not talking about like November. Like we've seen some teams have a little bit of struggles late. Like the Buccaneers, when they won it against us, they like didn't win a game in November, but then December they turned it on. No, we're talking about Christmas fucking Day. We are getting our asses beat by the Raiders who don't complete a pass after the first quarter.
Yeah, that
And
was,
we lost that by like multiple scores, right? Like
that was a bad game.
we it was a rough fucking day. Tim knows firsthand. He was there. It was bad. And we're all sitting here saying we're 10-7 and one and done in the playoffs.
And we just won the Super Bowl. He won a
Hmm.
Super Bowl where the 2 touchdowns
And-
scored by MVS and Mecole Hardman.
Cole Hardman. And then we go into the playoffs, right?
Why?
And we have we've had the toughest road that we've ever had to a championship, right? First of all, the other 2 times we've won a championship, we had a bye week, right? So we didn't even have to play wild card round, right? We only had to play 3 games to get that championship. This time we had to play 4.
It's the first
We
time.
played the number 2 team on the road, right? And the number 2 team in the AFC on the road. We go and play the number 1 seed in the AFC on the road. And then we go to the Super Bowl and play the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Owned.
And we beat them all.
Yeah.
We are the underdogs in all of them. We go into 2 houses, take them down, right? First time on the road in the playoffs. Oh no, is Patrick Mahomes going to be good? I have no idea.
Yeah.
But
It's a weird, like, that's
I know.
that's a weird, like, question to me. It's like he's a fucking NFL player.
Can he win on the road? His stats in the regular season on the road, I think,
better
are
on the road.
I was
than
like, he's
his.
a 2-time league MVP, and you're gonna say you don't think he can win a couple playoff games on the road against fucking Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen?
But I mean, I think the reason that this year people doubted him was the same reason we were doubting him all year, right? I mean,
But-
so winning this championship, cementing the dynasty, going back to back, winning a Super Bowl in overtime, having a game tying drive in the 4th quarter, right? To send it to overtime, and then having a game winning drive in overtime to cement that dynasty, right? This might be his greatest accomplishment. Like, I mean, you just named all the other accomplishments where you're like, I don't think you can ever top this. And then he tops it. And then what's he going to do?
He's going to give it to you however you want it. Like, you want to see him do this? All right. You want to see him do that? Okay.
Last year was a rebuilding year. This year was a down year.
You want to see him do it as on one leg? Okay.
Done that.
I know. Yeah, last year on one leg.
Hey, you know what? Fuck it. Next year, let's go the whole way on the road.
Be a wild card. Do it as a wild card team.
Fuck it.
That means one of the other teams in our division would have to win our division. I want to keep the streak
Dude,
going.
the Chargers have spent so much money. We gotta let them have one.
Just so they can lose in the first week to us or something.
Yes. We're gonna fucking bounce them in the first round. They're gonna go. They'll be the 2. We'll be the 7.
Guys, nothing sweeter in the world than getting this dynasty and winning the Super Bowl in the Raiders' house and then having John Elway have to walk the trophy out to us.
While beating the son of McCaffrey and the son of Shanahan.
Yeah.
Run by John Lynch.
Dude.
Put together
Run
by
by
John.
John Lynch. Yes. So good.
All just comes
If
full
only.
circle.
Did you see
So
Perna's
amazing.
tweet, Sam?
Do what?
Did you see what Perna tweeted out?
What?
He tweeted out, he goes, they won the Super Bowl and cemented their dynasty in Raider Stadium. Then John Elway brings them out the Super Bowl trophy. How the fuck did the Chargers get off scot-free? And it's because they've never done anything significant.
No, they didn't exactly. Drew Tranquil was pretty happy.
Drew Tranquil is pretty fucking happy, but oh man. Their pain and misery is my fuel.
Sammy, you're not.
You're muted.
Muted.
There's a Chiefs Kingdom flag. I don't know if you guys seen this. There's a
I,
Chiefs Kingdom flag buried in what in
Legion.
the Raider Stadium.
That is, we don't know for fact. Don't know for fact, but it's a pretty
mean,
possibility.
No, we do.
Is it fact?
The construction guy who works there buried it and then shared it all over social media. So
It's like in the concrete.
it's a yeah.
I decided it was one of those like folk stories, that they make up.
No, I mean it's it seems to be true.
No, the guy photoed himself doing it.
So Chiefs Kingdom flag
Love it.
buried in their stadium, and we win a postseason game in their house before they even play a postseason game in that house.
We're also the winningest coach QB combo in that building.
They don't have a coach QB combo that's won 5 times in that stadium. They've been there 4 fucking years.
No, they don't. Really? Derek Harding?
It's a real stat. Yeah, with that win last night, we were the
Gruden couldn't
winningest coach QB combo in Allegiant, including
win it
Raiders.
with Derek Carr 5 times.
I don't think Gruden and Derek. Oh,
They're there. I mean, the place opened in 2020, right?
yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah.
its 4th year. And Gruden and Carr were there for at least the first 2, yeah. His last year was when he got fired like halfway through, something like
No,
that.
Gruden
It
got
was the year
fired.
before.
What?
It
Gruden
was
got
the year
fired.
before.
Gruden got fired halfway through 2020. It's the same year as Henry Ruggs. I thought. And I thought both.
Oh, because Josh McDaniel, this was Josh's 2nd year, right?
Hired.
And you set up the fact that they don't win fucking games, man.
Okay, so it was the year before that. I don't know. It was like a year and a half then, at least. I don't know. Yeah, they didn't win 5 games.
2020 got fired.
Anyways, yeah,
AFC
that's
West
pretty
is
cool.
down bad right now, man.
It's pretty good.
The rest of the AFC West.
They are. I mean,
And what
dude,
do you
it's
thought
when
about
we
legacy?
when watching John Elway walk that trophy to us, like he just did not look at it. And it was us being like, we just
Some of his
you know,
facial expressions were so
Yeah.
awkward too. Like,
planted our flag in the Raiders Stadium, and then we're like, "Hey, John Elway, hey little bitch, go get us that trophy. Go bring it up there. Go on now,
I
go
actually
get it."
I think that
don't
kind of
want to.
ruined it
Yeah,
for me, having him touch our trophy before.
nah, no,
That was my
no,
first reaction last night. I was like, "Get that man's hands off my trophy!"
That was his actual. Those were actually his words. He said that. shit.
No, it's damn straight. You bring us that. You come on, bring it up.
Yeah. Then
Let's
once
see.
it set in, I was like, "Oh, this is actually really nice."
Yeah, right. And the Raiders. I mean, it's just
John Elway has to bring us our back-to-back trophy.
yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Sure as hell does.
There's-
If he was like,
Now it's past
I've
due.
got a friend who's an old friend of mine who used to work with me at Starbucks. He's from Denver, big Broncos fan, and I asked him if he'd seen John Elway walk that shit up to us. He was like, "What? No, I turned that shit off."
dude, there's no sweeter cherry on top of this dynasty than doing in the Raiders Stadium and having John Elway bring us that trophy.
I really desperately do need the Chiefs to win one more Super Bowl, though, just so I can at least say I've seen them win more Super Bowls than the Broncos in my life.
Yeah. Oh,
Right now
okay,
they're
'cause we've
equal.
seen they're evil. They're equal.
And you add the Eagles Super Bowl win in there, and right now we're still
They're
behind
doing pretty good.
Giants and the Broncos combined. So I need one more win from the Chiefs or Eagles, and I feel like it's more likely to be the Chiefs to win it than the Eagles.
Yeah. I mean, at this point,
You never know.
more likely than anybody else.
Yeah, more likely than 31 other teams. I don't care what Vegas says. San Francisco.
I know they already have San Fran as
And Baltimore was what,
favorites to win
Baltimore
next
number
year.
2?
3. We were 2.
We were
Okay.
too.
I
But
was
you're
like-
just like, you're doing it again. You're doing it again.
See, I mean, we even made Vegas salty. But also, I mean, after last night, I'm a little less sold on Brandon Ayuk.
No. I mean, Green.
No.
Also, What is it? Greenlaw's going to be out for all of next season, probably.
Maybe. I mean, man,
Dude, that is the fucking
That's
that
was-
was so unlucky.
that sucks.
the
That was-
That
nuttiest.
sucked So
Like that's the unluckiest thing I've ever seen in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was nutty.
Running onto the goddamn field.
And he was playing well. He was playing.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm sad about it, but
No, I'm not. I
I
don't
mean,
like seeing a player get hurt. Like it has to
no,
be serious.
no, you
go
don't
for the
want
guy.
to. We
So,
would have won either way.
I needed that trophy, baby.
yeah,
Um,
definitely did pave the way for that.
yeah, man, it was big. I mean, we had some guys out though. We had our best offensive lineman out. We had a
You were
starting.
definitely killing that too.
And
The
we
starting D
had
end
Donovan
out.
Smith out there. We had Donovan Smith on our offensive line, and that was
It
but we know hard times.
yeah, he didn't look at man. Okay, this game was it was bad at the first half, right? We were talking about we somehow won. We scored 3 points in the first half.
But those 3
Uh,
points were the 3 points I knew. I said it. I go, if we get 3 points here, we will win this game.
Did you?
I did.
Well, you were a lot more confident than I was.
I told him. I said we
Um,
need at least the 3 because we got the
Everyone's more confident than you see.
yeah, dude.
That's
Like,
true. That's true.
everybody.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I've seen us lose. I maybe this will boost up my confidence in
It won't.
like
Not
It's
Tyler.
only
Conklin
when I-
back there.
only when I truly get down that we get up. So it works. Okay. Me losing all hope is what it works every time.
Hey, works every time. Don't fucking.
I know. So I have to keep doing it. And don't worry, it's natural. It happens naturally. So I don't think I'll stop anytime.
Nikki,
Here it
sorry,
goes.
you're gonna have to keep the group chat muted.
All of the painful playoff losses it just buried in my memory so deep down. And I know now I have some great things to remember.
Not Trent Green back there.
I know.
Well, if we can just get Mahomes a little bit of help out there this next season, we'll be.
I mean, think about this team with some
Does
really
he really need it?
some wide receiver. Yeah, we need another wide. We need one more.
I mean, our worst
That's
years
good,
here,
but we do
best
need
years.
one more.
So
So two of my favorite stats from yesterday. Oh wait, Sam, you were in the middle of a thought. Sorry.
Oh, I mean, you can say your favorite stats.
So one was the Niners were 3 of 12 on third down. And
Really?
yeah, they were 3 of 12 on third down. We were 9 of 19.
It's so many third downs. Jesus Christ.
Also, the Chiefs had 6 fumble recoveries in that game.
I'm sorry, what was third down? We were
9 of 19.
9 of 19. Dang.
They were 3 of 12. Both teams were 1 for 1 on fourth down.
Hey, dude, we couldn't stay out of third down.
Yeah. But yeah, the Chiefs recovered 6 fumbles. 2
And I feel like
fumbles by the
most-
Niners, 4 by the Chiefs.
Most of those converted third downs were in the fourth quarter
Yeah,
over.
yeah, they were definitely in the second half. Like
Yep.
ESPN doesn't have half
Night and day.
breakdown, and it kills me. I'm trying to look at that.
Yeah, we fumbled 5 times and lost 1.
They fumbled twice and lost them both.
Like the fumble luck yesterday.
So it technically evened out because we fumbled and threw a pick, and they had the fumbles. But
Okay, yeah,
That was one of Pacheco's
That's-
worst
I
games.
do want to bring up the box.
yeah, but like I said, I thought he served a good purpose wearing them down. But the receiving, he helped a lot.
Yeah, he does. Like he wasn't hitting holes. He wasn't breaking tackles. I mean, it's the
There
fucking,
weren't holes.
it's fucking 49ers.
Yeah, there weren't really many holes like in the first half anyway.
Mm-mm. It was tough slide in there. But let's go over how this game went, right? In the first half, we were getting dominated basically on both sides, right? And on the line of scrimmage, especially, right? And that's where you see every game kind of won and lost, right? That is why the Buccaneers on the one Super Bowl we've lost was able to just handle us the whole time, is because they were beating us,
But I wouldn't say they
especially
dominated us
defensively.
on
Do what?
defense. They didn't dominate our defense. I mean, they scored
No.
10 points and they scored
They-
7
they
of them on a
moved-
trick play. That's not
They
they
were
weren't
able to move the
Hold on.
ball a little bit better,
on.
but
They were moving that ball, right? Like the first two times we stopped them in that first half was the fumble,
Yeah.
right? They were moving the ball right down us. We got
They
a
were.
fumble. Good for us. But they were moving the ball. The second time was because they had like a holding and a false start right in a row and put themselves in a hole.
Yeah. I mean,
Otherwise, they were moving the ball on
they were
us through
moving the
that
ball
first
pretty
half
well, but I mean
very well.
the points is what really.
And-
I mean, we left points on the board too.
We did. We
Going in
did.
the red zone.
Because yes,
So I mean, really, it was a push. I thought
Also,
on that. Fact.
also, let's not forget that the touchdown that was thrown by whoever that was to
Juan
Christian
Jennings.
McCaffrey should not have counted because it was an illegal man down the field. So
yeah, he
It
was like
was not
7.
illegal
People
man.
also-
It was now there was a holding on that call, but it was not an illegal man downfield because the pass didn't go beyond the line of scrimmage.
Ooh, see, there you go.
Yeah, let's say you don't want to throw that out there because they're trying to throw the image of we had an illegal man downfield on corn dog is what they're trying to say, too.
Did we
Was
though?
it-
What?
That's what Niners are trying to say. Niners fans, I saw.
Yeah, they're trying to say.
I saw
do
a
we even
picture of
have
it.
enough
Let's-
time to get a guy down the
It
field?
was
Yeah, I thought it was
the
quick.
thing. Okay, but the thing with this is like it was a pretty cleanly officiated game,
Wasn't
right?
that
There
play
wasn't
2-yard line?
I know.
the officials stayed out of it for the most part. The
Yeah,
officials let the guy
this was
play.
pretty good.
And I mean, you can't try to even blame this one on the officials. Like that's what's another great thing about this playoff run is there were no like controversial calls. There was nothing like in the end of the game
Yeah.
that helped us. That did, like if anything, the other teams were getting the calls at the end of the game, right? The Niners got the holding call in overtime.
Oh, dude, that one.
Touchdown.
That one was.
That
made-
was so
But-
hard.
But he did it. Yeah, it was a legal hold. That was a hold.
It was a hold, but they hadn't been called and all that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
you've seen
I-
guys
hey,
get away with it, but it was a hold.
Hey. It was a
It was a hold. It was a hold. They
I
called it. They got it. Good for them.
was
Our
like,
guys came through and eat it. But no, at the beginning of this game, for the first half of the game, the Niners controlled this game through pretty much 3 quarters, right? Our offense really didn't do anything until the 4th quarter.
I was only worried
scored-
because of our offense.
We had, up until that muff punt, right? And then even with that muff punt, you're like, okay, you got a touchdown when you started at your own like 15. Like,
But it was
okay,
heavy.
that was before that, it was 2 field goals, right? We always have a pretty nice 2-minute offense. So like right
Okay.
before half, we ran our 2-minute offense and
We're
we
so good out of
scored
the no
points.
huddle. Why don't we do it more?
I know, right? You're like,
Fucking
why don't you
aggravates
guys
the
work
shit
with
out
a
of me.
little?
You only do
Anyways.
it with 2 minutes left in the half.
The other kick or the other field goal was one where Bucker had to set a Super Bowl record that was just set a quarter before.
He needed
He
to
had to
break
get-
it. He's the better kicker. He
50
deserves the record.
He does.
Hey, shout out to Tommy Townsend because that snap was bad.
Yeah, and he
Oh,
got
yeah.
that thing.
It was
And
Yeah,
Tommy
he
was a
above his
fucking
head.
He had to reach behind his head to grab it.
and
get it
Tommy
back.
was a
Oh, did it?
monster yesterday. Tommy was
Yeah, it was like
Tommy saved his best game of the season for that game. I think.
One of them.
One of
But
one of
yeah,
his best.
he played great. He played great. He had some
A
bombing.
61-yard
some
fucking bomb. Ooh.
Dude.
Flip. He kept that field. Both punters I felt were pretty good because
Yeah.
He
both
kept
teams
the
had-
field position from
he-
both
Yeah.
down.
Somehow nailed
Chris
the
Conley
back.
was incredible on special teams.
Dude, Chris
Chris
Conley
Conley,
played
shout
a
out.
hell of a game.
That tackle he had, dude. That fucking and it was a legal tackle.
man.
He grabbed the dude by the arm and pulled him like that. Fucking crazy.
You know that's one of the dudes Toe was mad about having to lose too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, not gonna happen. But through that first half, right? Well, like our offense didn't show up until the 4th quarter, and it
Right.
was
Third
once
quarter.
they let us back in that game though. Once that punt, like that muff punt was kind of where the whole thing flipped a little.
Yeah.
I mean, our defense didn't play, its best, but they did exactly what they had to do.
I
Right.
I thought this was one of their best games just because like you look at the team they were against. Like
I know.
the amount
And
of weapons they
And
held
they
in
kept
check.
us in. They kept us in that game when the Niners could have
Yeah.
blown us out.
And
Like
Niners-
they did. They
So a long period of time they could have put us away.
They could have. And the Niners just let us stay in and let us stay in and
But
let
that-
us stay in.
That unit
then
was
that-
fantastic.
And then that muff punt happens.
Yeah.
We get that touchdown and you get oh shit. It's almost the 4th quarter and you just let the Chiefs get a lead. And that was the only lead that the Niners, to their credit, got the ball back, went right down, scored a touchdown of their own,
Yeah.
took the lead. And that drive that they had, that was the only time in the entire game the Chiefs led. That's the only time we led until, of course, the very end, like to
Yeah.
end the game, right? So the only actual time during that game that we had a lead was that one drive right there when we went up
I think
13-10
I think the Niners had the lead 5 different times.
because we kept tying it. They would go ahead, we would
Yeah.
tie it. And then, of course, I mean, man, talk about special teams, right? Like coming through special teams. without that muff punt and without that block field goal, that extra point, we probably don't win this game without either of those plays.
Leo
Ooh.
Chanel was so huge yesterday.
Leo
Leo
Chanel was
Chanel was like,
So
he got that block punt. He
Was
got
it
that tackle.
was it
for
him that
loss.
blocked it? Because it looked like it was either him or Dana. I was like,
No,
both
it
of
was
them-
it was Chanel. Chanel
It was
also
Leo.
forced a fumble on McCaffrey.
yeah, him because that was him and Pennell combining to force that fumble.
Yep.
But they were awesome. Our D line, our backup D tackles. were
Leo
awesome
played
in this game.
great.
Mike Pennell,
Pennell played a hell of a game.
Turk Wharton had a couple really good plays in that game.
Oh yeah.
Dude, like
Now, I
okay,
mean,
that unit, I can't say enough. I mean, Dana in that game. Like that series where Trent Williams fell apart and where he got called for those 3 penalties. They were
Yeah.
all Mike Dana across from him.
hey, give it up
He
to the
got
guy.
called for, he held him.
So
So
for some reason, like I knew that Ayuk and Debo Samuel, it doesn't surprise me that they weren't much of a factor in this game because of our corners. You know, you knew we could match them there. Where you didn't know, you know, who I was scared of was Christian McCaffrey, and he got his, right?
he scared me.
Put 80 on the ground and 80 through the air, right? 160 yards from scrimmage and a
Fantastic.
touchdown.
Amazing game.
We just had to survive Christian McCaffrey. What I was surprised was that we didn't see Kittle. Kittle got 1 catch, right?
Dude, we had those dudes locked.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
but I wasn't, you know, Kittle had 2 catches for 4
Dude.
yards. I mean, where was he?
He did leave the game at the end with that shoulder. I don't know if
But
it
he
was
came right
bothering-
back out.
I know,
It's not like
I was like, I don't know if it was bothering
he
him
didn't
coming
miss a
into the
ton
week.
of that game.
I don't know if it was bothering him coming into the week to where he was just kind of range of motion was limited, and they knew that, and he was more of a decoy or
No,
what.
I mean,
But
the only significant he made was what to convert was it the 4th down that they went to him on?
yeah, it was the 4th and 1. And that was a
So-
great.
He did have another like 10-yard catch, but it was called back on a holding call.
On a holding.
Yeah.
But still, like,
Yeah, I agree. It was weird.
that's where you had to attack us. Like our linebackers are pretty good and our safeties are pretty good, but you need Kittle. Kittle, I'm sorry, if you're supposed to be one of the best tight ends ever, you know, if you're arguably supposed to be up there with Travis Kelce, like get
So-
the fuck open in the Super Bowl.
Kittle's a better blocker. He was doing all the blocking yesterday.
And I do think that.
He's
but I do-
blocking that.
Gosh,
But I
shut up.
honestly
Really
think a lot of the
breaking
problem
Christian
was
loose.
Sucks.
with Kittle is he's coming across the middle of the field a lot. The problem that they were running into is when we blitzed from the outside, Brock Purdy was actually very good in this game. Like he completed the
Sometimes.
majority of his passes
for-
against the blitz on the outside blitz. Hang on. The majority of them. The
Except
blitz
for
that-
3rd down.
the blitz that killed him was the blitz up the middle. When we blitzed him from the gut and brought pressure from right up the middle, that's when he had problems. Our D linemen are tall and Purdy's kind of short. So-
We knew we were gonna swat some passes, and we did.
And I think that's what a lot of the problem that he was having was they were trying to do a lot more action behind the line of scrimmage and to the outside the numbers to not really, unless they had something like a double move get wide open across the middle.
Yeah.
So
Now, all right. So once we, take the lead and then it goes back and forth, then it becomes one of the most fun Super Bowls in recent memory, right? Like they get the ball, they score a touchdown, miss the extra point, huge,
Yeah.
right? Like, holy fuck. Because I mean, we get the ball, go down, take a field goal, tie it up. They get the ball, go down, kick a field to go up. Brock Purdy, to his credit,
It's clutch.
in the 4th quarter and overtime, 3 drives to go and take the lead.
yeah, I think he
Right?
was more composed than his coach was.
He was yeah. Now here's the difference between him and Mahomes is like you did not lose your team the game, but you also didn't win them the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it was not Brock
That's
Purdy
my
played
whole thing. That's
a
my whole
great
thing with
game.
Purdy is he's not a difference maker.
you're not Mahomes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean nobody is, right? Like but
He's
do you
not
have
even-
that
Like he's not in that upper echelon at all. Like
you're not elite status, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not going to put the biggest
You're
moments,
Jags.
you're not going to put the team on your back and drag them to that victory like Mahomes did. Mahomes had what 9 carries, right? And I want to say like 6 of them were to convert 3rd or 4th downs. Right? He
Huge in that game.
on that 70 the drive where we kicked the 70 or the 70, the 57 yarder, right? Remember that third down that Mahomes converted, like 3rd and 4, where he went and ran through 2 dudes, right? To pick up a couple extra yards to convert that.
Difference maker.
On 4th and 1, overtime, have to have it or the game's over. Put in his hands and fucking scrambles, and gets like 10 yards there.
Fucking difference maker.
Multiple 3rd downs, uses his legs to make sure that we get that, to pick up and move those chains, right? Travis Kelce had a big old play to Travis Kelce on 3rd and 10 during 4th quarter and overtime. The play to Rashee Rice on 3rd and 6. Like, I mean,
If you would have seen him running across the middle on that final drive,
I know, right? But
God,
then
we
we
would
wouldn't have
have
had
wanted
that fun overtime, right?
fuck it. I would have rather it ended in regulation.
Yeah,
Which by the way, like Creed's got to clean up the snaps.
Creed has to claim a snap.
He's
Creed,
gotta
you got
clean
to
up.
snap that higher. Creed,
Hey,
Creed's been snapping it low all postseason.
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey is not the best snapping center, but you know what? He's going down as one of the greats. I mean,
They
run a
it's
lot of
worth it
shotgun.
because what they provide is where, I mean, Sneaky, that clip you sent of Creed blocking
He just shoved that dude out of the fucking stadium. That was not Greenlaw, the other one.
Fred
Fred
Warner.
Fred Warner.
Yeah,
How could, a Fred Warner, a guy who's probably going into the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah.
Who could be? And he blocks that dude into oblivion. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
this isn't our dad's NFL anymore. This is not every 3rd down they drop in the shotgun and that's it. This is 80% of the fucking game. The center has to make a long snap. So I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna have more on average. You're gonna have a lot more that you see of that because you just have a lot more of them.
Yeah.
he
No,
does
we
need to
use-
clean it up a little though. You
I
gotta
agree.
pick it
You
up,
don't want
man.
to see it
You
happen
gotta
3,
pick
4
it up.
times a game, but I mean,
We-
you're gonna fucking see it the more shotguns.
I know, but man, like Mahomes was having to pick that ball up off the ground all night long. He had to do it in the last game too. I feel like it's been happening all postseason.
Hey, I bet Creed's sitting there and he's like, you know what? You tell this dude to quit running, making me run as much. I'll fucking snap it a little better. I mean,
But honestly, it all worked out, and it was
I know.
It did.
more
And you know what?
I'm
Better
sure-
the snap low,
And high.
as Peyton Manning will tell you in the Super Bowl. It's better the snap be low than high.
Yep.
Yeah.
True that.
But man, once our offense, a switch flipped after that muff punt. And for some reason the Niners went away. They started blitzing more. Why are you blitzing more in the 4th quarter? Why are you blitzing Mahomes? What are you doing?
Steve Wilkes Steve Wilkes was matching the energy of Steve Spagnuolo, I feel.
Don't play your game. Play your game. Don't play ours. But we have forced teams to play our game.
That's because Patrick
For
Mahomes.
some reason, you stopped running it. I mean, that's just kind of Kyle Shanahan being Kyle Shanahan. Just stop running it when you need to run it the most. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
I think every DC wants to be the guy that guns Patrick Mahomes down with the blitz.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't.
I know it's never going to happen.
We converted that 3rd down to Rice in overtime because they were blitzing for some reason. What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, you
had been
getting there with
overtime rules pulled up.
You had in the first half, you were getting to Patrick Mahomes rushing 4, and that's how you beat him. That's how you beat every quarterback. No quarterback. If you can get to the quarterback rushing 4 guys and give the get them no time at all, like you're gonna win every game. That's how the Giants beat Tom Brady twice in Super Bowls. Is because they could rush 4, get to the quarterback, and drop everyone else in coverage.
I think you'll get about 40% of the games on Patrick Mahomes if you can.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, they did try that. They did try, like, teams have tried that, but it's hard to consistently get there with 4 guys, right? If you don't get there with your 4 guys in under 3 seconds, you're just giving the quarterback all the time.
I think the only time I really saw it done this season, besides the first half of the Super Bowl, was the Raiders game on Christmas.
Yeah, they were.
Max Crosby was tearing us up.
He did. But Tim pulled up those overtime rules, I believe.
I did.
So go ahead and can you tell us what the overtime rules are when you're in the postseason, just so the 49ers players will know going into the next postseason what to expect? Because apparently their coach isn't going to tell them.
That's wild.
So,
All right, so I'm just gonna go through these. They're bullet pointed.
exactly. Love it.
If the score is still tied at the end of an overtime period, or the second team's initial possession has not ended, the teams will play another overtime period. Play will continue regardless of how many overtime periods are needed for a winner to be determined.
Which brings up the point some people have. Why do we have a clock in overtime?
Right.
Yeah.
They
There's
should have
no-
just gotten rid of it.
There's no point in having an actual game clock.
Because I saw some people freaking out like 13 seconds left. And I hiked the ball.
They
I'm
thought
like,
the-
you
they
don't
Some
need
thought
people,
to.
some
Oh
people,
yeah, they thought the Chiefs were going to run out of time, but it did not matter because it would have just gone to the next.
So the reason
quarter.
that they do the time on there and they to play it by periods is because of the fact that if you're playing in an outdoor stadium and you
It'd flip.
because you want to flip the field in case of wind and all that, you don't want one team to just have an automatic built-in advantage because
Okay,
they
yeah,
lost the coin flip.
okay.
That's
flip,
fine.
flip, so you can flip the field.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
That's
Okay.
got to be the only reason.
The only reason to have a clock.
And because they apparently will go to a halftime.
Yeah.
And the second quarter of it will have a 2-minute warning and all of that. Like they'll
Oh,
do
I
that
don't-
apparently.
I don't really know why they put them in this order because that could
Yeah.
have been like one of the last ones. But second point, there will be a 2-minute intermission between each overtime period. There will be a halftime intermission after the second period. So
Okay,
we
the
could
guy
have
did
had
say
two
they're
halftime shows.
they're starting a new game, right?
Yeah.
They're starting a new game.
Would Usher have come back out and performed again? Because if so, I'm kind of
You'd
mad.
have had to gotten Taylor and Ice Spice down there.
You know,
That would have been sick.
could have put on
Which
an
by the
impromptu.
way, I mean, it's pretty wild to learn the overtime rules the same time Taylor Swift and Ice Spice do.
Especially because
By
some of
looking
those
at them
people
at
play
the
in the NFL.
jumbotron. Dude, I mean, that shows you also the difference between between Reed and Shanahan, right? Like between having one of the greatest coaches of all time and having a really good offensive minded head coach, right?
Yeah.
Is like our players were prepared. Like
Yeah.
Chris Jones and Mahomes were both like, yeah, we knew the overtime rules. We went over them every day these past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, and we knew our plan for what we were gonna do if it got to overtime.
You're going for 2.
We were gonna, yeah. And that's the thing, like
Yeah, there's never going to be a third possession.
we didn't let Tim finish the rules.
So third one, which this is kind of crazy, but the captain who lost the first overtime coin toss either chooses to possess the ball or select which goal his team will defend unless the team that won the toss deferred. So we would have gotten the ball back in the second half had the game still gone scoreless. Each team will have an opportunity to possess the ball in overtime, which that was the big thing.
Yeah.
Each team gets 3 timeouts during a half. The same timing rules that apply at the end of a second and fourth regulation period also apply at the end of a second or fourth overtime period. So 2-minute warning, I guess,
Yeah.
or 2-minute rules.
And then your clock will stop within 5 minutes,
Yeah.
I believe.
And then last thing here is if there's still no winner at the end of a fourth overtime period, there will be another coin toss. The play will continue until a winner is declared.
I want to live long enough to see 2 full
Two
games.
full games. 2 full games.
Which, let's be honest, the second full game will be boring because
that's
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Because it's going scoreless.
you're gonna have
Well,
fucking fun.
you can get
third stringers because
2
dude
scores.
can't fucking get up.
Or yeah, two first drive touchdowns
So-
or field goals and then
Not
nothing.
only do the 49ers not know, like their players don't know these rules and they don't know the plan for what is going to happen with this overtime.
Which that's the big thing, is not having a plan.
Well,
it really doesn't matter who gets the ball
they
first
said
there.
it's not that
It does.
the big thing is that their players don't have it. The reason that Shanahan gave for what their plan was, it wasn't like, I thought maybe like his defense was tired or something. He wanted to give his defense a break and take
Just
the ball
wanted the
first.
third
But
possession.
it is because he wanted the third possession. And it's like, dude, because they're like, oh, if it gets into sudden death, we want to have the ball. And it's like, no. You
It's not
put it
good.
into unless you decide to go unless on your first possession you get a touchdown and decide to go for 2, you've just now given it back to Patrick Mahomes and now it's sudden death.
Yeah.
Like because Patrick Mahomes knows exactly what he needs to do to end the game.
And I'll argue that there's
Not give
absolutely
you that.
no advantage to being the first team with the ball in overtime in
There's-
the playoffs because
you
Also,
see it in
now if you
college.
if you fucking turn the ball over, you just lost without Patrick Mahomes even having to step on the
Having
field.
touched right. Like if there's like a pick six or something. Yeah.
And
Like
let's be
if
honest, we almost had that takeaway.
we didn't.
I think Brock Purdy fumbled that ball, and on review, we would have gotten the fumble, but the
If there
traffic
wasn't the
hold.
holding call.
Well, and the
Um,
other thing too, there was never ever going to be a third possession because
Exactly.
if
You-
like if they had scored the touchdown, we were going to go for two.
Go for two. And our guys knew that. Like we were
Love
there.
it.
And
That's why it's
like that's not even like a trade secret or anything. Like that's what you're supposed to do.
dude, that's why like
Get the
he's
ball
planning
back.
for a third possession where he thinks he's going to get sudden death, and it's like, no, man. After your possession, no matter what you do, you're giving it back to us, and now it is sudden death. Like
Yeah, you
we
live or
get the
die on
ball.
this drive.
You are letting us. You're saying I'm giving you guys the opportunity to possess the ball with sudden death first.
Like in game strategy decisions are like a known giant hole in Shanahan's coaching game.
He said he talked to the analytics guys and all these guys about it, and I'm like,
Or shit.
and I've heard there's been reports that if you talk to analytics guys around the field, like they'll say different things, and it can be a mixed bag. And I'm like, what is the advantage of having the ball first now? You see it in college.
In real time, I was like, should they kick it?
You see
Yeah,
the same thing
you
in
did say
college
it.
where teams
Yeah.
will always want to be on defense first, right? Because in college you get the same
Yep.
one possess, and it's from the 25. It's a lot different, but it's still the same as in
think-
each team gets a possession, and they always let the other team go first. They want to know what they have to do. Do we have to have a field goal? Do we have to have a touchdown? Do we have to have a touchdown and 2 points? Like
It was weird because I think Sneaky and I both felt like at the opening coin toss, Sneaky and I felt the same because we were able to defer. We're like, dude, that's a first victory of the game.
right.
In
Right.
overtime, we both even said it. Like after the Niners won it, we're like, fuck, but then they chose to receive, and we were both like, that feels like a win.
Yeah.
That feels good.
Yeah, and then you're guaranteeing, like, no matter what you do, you're guaranteeing the other quarterback 4 downs.
Yeah. If Mahomes knows he needs, I mean, if you score anyways, you're
Trying to
guaranteeing the other
Mahomes
team.
4 downs
The other
seems like a bad idea.
if you score a field goal or a touchdown, you've just said, okay, we're giving Patrick Mahomes 4 downs every time, and that we saw what he did.
Patrick, I will go ahead and defend the 49ers.
The more we talk through this, there's just no advantage to
No.
taking the ball.
And I will defend one point of that is I'll say that we were going for it on 4th down, even if we had received the ball first, I think. I think that Andy Reid, on that 4th and 1 in overtime, we would have totally gone for that.
On the 36?
I think he would have. That point in the game, knowing the defense, how tired their defense is, knowing how ours is, Andy gets a lot more ballsy late in the game like
And
that.
calling a goddamn naked bootleg? Like, that wasn't even an option.
That was a Pat
It was
call.
An
beautiful.
option, I thought.
It was
That was
An
not
option.
Pat told
They made it look like
Pacheco, Isaiah said that Pat came to him and told him in there, he goes, if I get this look, I'm fucking just taking off.
I'm taking off. It was
What Pat told him.
it was an option but on there we
Like,
ran a
Travis
few
went out there,
options.
but he was not a receiver. He went out there to block.
Oh, because Pat told them before, he goes, if we get this look, I'm running right
I'm running
there.
off. And and Rasheed even did a good job of making it look like he was running around. And holding off holding one of their DBs back. We can get to some of the fights they had. Man,
We need to.
the Kelsey yelling at Andy Reid on the sideline. Woo! But
Well, that was a
after
wild
that-
one.
but hey,
Bill Belichick would have benched him for the rest of the game and
I know,
lost.
man.
to
But
prove a point.
what happens with Kelsey? Before that time, that was in the first half where Kelsey had 1 catch for 1 yard, and then in the second half came out with 8 catches for like 92 yards.
McCall,
That's the other part of it. Like you have to think of them as family.
We're all
McCall
arguing
Hardman
about
said
heads a
at-
little, but
Just
all
how they
love.
communicate with each other, and like I think they know what's on the edge and what's
that-
completely out of bounds.
that's also the thing. Travis Kelsey, like him and Andy Reid have been together for 10 years.
Yeah.
Like they know each other in and out. Like they have that relationship.
That
This
is-
isn't just
That probably
anybody
doesn't even rank on the top 10 most heated discussions they've ever had.
they've ever had. Right.
yeah,
And then the
McCall
Rasheed
Hardman,
Rice one.
Oh.
Rasheed Rice, and
he was pissed that he didn't get the touchdown.
he was mad, and then Mahomes was like, "Look, motherfucker, I got the low snap, and I
Yeah.
just basically got up and eyeballed Kelsey the whole way." But then what is after that, right? Because that was end of the game. When we on our first possession, on our first pass play of overtime, we went to Rashee Rice, right? Mahomes got his guy. He said, "Hey, all right, let's get you back into this." And
That's
then,
That's what he does.
it's almost so predictable.
yeah,
Like,
when
if a
your
guy
guy has a,
fucked up the last time they were on the field, like they're going to him next. Like,
they want him to feel good. They want him to
Yeah.
be like, "No, you're still a part of this. We still need you." And then later on that same drive, Rashee Rice converted a big third down for us, right? 3rd and 6, going over the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they tried to blitz Mahomes for whatever reason. Our blitzes on Purdy, very effective on 3rd down, right? On 3rd down is when he was like 2 for 6. You know, and we really affected him a couple times with Chris Jones. Chris Jones had at least 2 different plays where he saved a touchdown. Like where he got the pressure on Purdy, who couldn't make a throw. And, without that,
I don't know how we're gonna survive without him.
it'll be tough, man. You
Well,
can't
let's-
replace
hey,
a guy like that.
That's a sad topic. We're not going to talk about that tonight.
That's
That's
not,
how we're
yeah.
going to move on. We're going to
Chris
move.
Jones, was saying
potential-
after the game, he wants to be here. So
So let's just let that. We're not talking about potential.
he can maybe
departures right
figure out a
now.
way. He can maybe
It's a
figure out a
happy
way.
time to talk.
Yeah, Mahomes restructure his contract. Chris take a
Nicole
team friendly
Hardman
deal.
on the Today Show, they were talking to him about. They asked him like, what did Andy Reid say at halftime to kind of ignite the guys? He said Andy Reid did not talk to us. It was Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
That Travis Kelce came in there and he yelled at the offensive players and he said, "Those guys over there are handling their fucking business. We need to handle ours," or something along those lines.
Who knows?
Patrick, when they were doing one of the post game interviews on the field, they had me, Cole, and somebody else up there, and Patrick comes up and tells a story. And he's like, "Hey, can I tell you guys something? When I threw this guy the touchdown, he didn't even know he caught it. He
He
blacked
didn't know.
out."
Yeah.
Yeah, Nicole's like, I blacked out, man. I didn't realize the
doing
game
here?
was over until like Mahomes was running at me.
Crazy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, what a moment for him though. Cole, to go from having that terrible moment, in the Bills game, fumbling that ball, maybe costing us the game, right? It felt like it at that time, like that could, man, what are you doing? And then to get the game winning touchdown,
The Super Bowl.
like
And you know what? Like,
every
I'm
kid's
more
dream.
willing to forgive him for mistakes than I am Kadarius Toney, and I don't know
Look,
why. Maybe it's because I have
with
seen, like,
Kadarius,
one out of I've
we
seen
probably
Because
we drafted McCole. I'm also more willing to forgive him than Sky Moore.
McColl's been with us through all the Super Bowls,
Yeah.
right? McColl's been there. We were without McColl for half this season, and that's it. Otherwise, he's been here throughout all of Mahomes' career, right? Or maybe he came
He
in
came in Mahomes' second year.
second year.
The year we won the Super Bowl against the Niners, he was a rookie.
Right. All right.
Yeah, I mean, he was here.
Through this dynasty, through these championships.
Kelsey
So
said
yes,
that's one of his favorite teammates of all time.
much more love for Cole than Tony. But hey, look, Kadarius, you're probably not going to be with us next year,
We'll
but we
always
will
have
always have Super Bowl 57.
we'll always have corn dog, baby.
We'll always have corn dog.
And now we've got corn dog with some ketchup and mustard,
3 fucking corn dogs.
as Andy Reid said.
Yeah.
He's like, we pulled corn dog again. Just
By
this
the way-
one.
By the way, how the fuck do you get beat by corn dog?
You had
When
a whole year
saw it happen twice last year to a team you hate.
because they were too focused on one team.
Well, it's because start running this motion where we go the other side and go the other side, and they're
really hard to do.
they've gotten into such a rhythm of passing the guy off or, whatever it is they need to do. And then we pull that out with them not even thinking about it, right? They're kind of in autopilot with it at that point.
Mahomes even said, he goes on that play, I looked at McCole first, didn't love the look. They had it covered. He goes, so I moved off McCole and said, you know what, I should go back to it. Andy's always right. So he went back to it and McCole was open. That's when which is really quick, how quick he went about that. But that's what he said. Like, he moved off McCole because initially it looked like they were going to have it covered. But then he got wide. He snuck out.
I mean,
For about a second and a half, it looked like Mahomes was going to take off for the end zone, and he probably would have gotten it.
maybe, at that point. And that was only first down too. Like we had,
Yeah.
Hey, we didn't even get to see the new overtime rules actually come into play.
I mean, kind of.
We kind of did, but
With they made a big deal with the strategy of it at this point.
The
At this point,
strategy.
it's more of a big deal of what Kyle Shanahan didn't do with the overtime rules, right?
That's I mean, the knowledge of the overtime rules came into play. But like
Yes.
really the actual rules didn't affect. Like if we
The one thing it
advanced for a
did
touchdown, it
change,
would've.
the one thing it did change is that if I think
The
if
amount of
they
time.
would have had, I mean, would we have gotten the extra quarter? Like,
No.
would that time have
It
mattered?
needed-
Or if we don't score before
been
that
over.
quarter and it
Would've been done.
ends, they
Would've been done.
right?
That'd have
But
been
now
it.
that both teams are guaranteed a possession in a full possession, I guess, not just like
I mean, yeah, we might have seen all the timeouts used. We might have seen the other timeouts used.
yeah, we wouldn't have let that clock run so much.
Yeah.
For sure. And I'm sure that all the 49ers, the entire 49ers team was very confused on why we were letting the clock run and would have been incredibly confused if the game continued after that quarter ended.
Yeah. Like, wait, what? We didn't win?
Wait a minute! This is bullshit.
Where are we getting confetti?
How many, like, you would have seen, I feel like we would have seen some Niners run onto the field celebrating had that time expired.
Oh, right.
Led by Kyle
And then-
Shanahan.
Hell, I feel like
He didn't know.
if the Niners would have scored a touchdown on their possession in overtime, we would have seen some Niners players running out there. Like,
That would have been the all time like staring at yourself in the mirror, putting the clown makeup on and shit.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
But anyway,
Um,
boys, just like
hey.
this, I think we
McDuffie had some fucking plays.
All
Like
the entire playoff run.
I mean, dude, that touchdown he defended in the end zone, right? Saved us a touchdown
That
there.
was beautiful.
that beautiful blitz.
The blitz that he had on third down, that would have, had they converted that third down,
They
probably
would've
would have
won
ended the
Super Bowl.
game.
Another pass defended against Debo.
Pass defended against Debo, where he almost picked it.
Yeah.
Oh, I want him to pick it. But McDuffie, love him. The one thing he can't really do is catch, but that's okay. He does
Hey,
everything else.
Bolton
don't pay
almost
him to
had one
catch.
too, but he's got that stinking hand in the cast.
Yeah. Last week.
A lot of close moments, but we did it.
But man, and Chris Jones, McDuffie, our defense, man. Some of those guys. Karloftis was flying around as well. Leo Chanel.
They were all awesome. We don't have to.
Jordan,
even
I mean,
name them all by name.
I feel like all
Yeah.
of our all of our
All
defenders
by name.
had a play in there, you know.
Yeah, just like the Chiefs, I think we did it, boys.
I think we did.
Yeah.
We
We'll
could obviously go on all night long.
We will talk more about it next week.
Yeah, we could go on all night. We could go on all week. We probably will. And
I
we-
will have more
for now-
stats to share.
I want people to like, comment, share the video. Come check it out again next week if you want to hear us talk more about how the Chiefs won
More about
back
this.
Super Bowl.
Same
baby!
topic, basically. Maybe we'll talk a little off-season stuff, but
Nope, not yet.
we're gonna be talking about this one.
We're
for a
not
little
talking about it yet. We're not talking about it until February's over, bitch.
bit in there.
Shout out to your dad.
My dad.
Apparently he watches every show. He knows me by name. I don't think I've ever met the man. The gravity of
Oh,
that is not lost.
Good
on me.
old Randy.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Randy.
There you go.
They killed it. Like I said, Tim, we got one here for you. Sam got his as well.